Hello, listeners. A quick note before we begin today. This episode is a combination of discussion and audio commentary on a couple of short films that we made. As such, we will be uploading the shorts with commentary, as well as the entire episode with shorts cut in to our YouTube channel. It's Queer Horror Cult at youtube.com. We have completely ignored that this channel exists until now, but we figure, hey, might as well get to it sometime. So we hope that you enjoy watching the shorts with commentary or just listening to it out of context if that's how you want to take in this episode. I don't judge. Viewer discretion is definitely advised, especially for the second one. It's incredibly violent and quite mean-spirited, and definitely not safe for work. So strap in and enjoy.
Well, Chief, don't quit your day job. Whatever that is.
Okay, and welcome back to Queer Horror Cult. We have a very special episode today, probably the most self-indulgent thing we've ever done on this fucking show, and I'm kind of excited about this. I have a room full of guests and also a familiar face who has slightly abandoned us, but that's okay. Hello, Aria. Welcome back to your own show.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. We've had 2 whole episodes in your absence. It's been wild. Wet and wild is what we say over here. And for joining us as well, we have Kylie from Bad Dad Rad Dad, who has already guested in the interim since you've been taking your little reprieve to, live a life. Kylie, welcome once again.
Thank you. I'm working on being your most frequent guest.
So. All right. Well, one more after this, and you'll have caught up to Nicole.
Yes.
And then we have a new guest with us that I'm very excited to have on the show. We have our good friend Tor.
Hello, it's me.
Oh, this is great. And what could be the reason that the 3 of us are here, or the 4 of us? I guess I'm also here. Is we're covering our own damn movies. We made a couple movies, and we're gonna talk about them, and that's gonna be fun. And we're going to do audio commentaries for them as well, which I plan to be putting up on YouTube with the video. So yeah, we have a YouTube channel that we've never touched, even though we started it when we started this podcast. So we'll finally get some use out of it.
Better late than never.
But Tor, since you're the new face here, or new voice, I guess, why don't you tell us a bit about yourself? Why would you ever hang out with us weirdos?
I'm like, well, just that, weirdos. Yeah, I'm Tor. My pronouns are they, she, he. And I'm trying to remember how I got pulled into this little cult in the first place. And I guess, long story short, Aria and I went to school together, and somehow it was brought up that, yeah, you guys were doing this little project and needed a body, needed a voice, needed someone who was comfortable being weird and covered in blood,
and who had acting experience. That was
and
also
that was a big bonus. Yeah.
I forget. Yeah, that little thing. Yeah, it's like one of those former triple threats actor, singer, dancer people who has stopped doing that for some time now, but it was really fun to revisit that with you guys. And yeah, it kind of became this queerdo horror culty happy family. So yeah.
Really is a happy family, yeah.
No regret.
Yeah, well, thanks again for joining us today. I'm looking forward to these memories we're going to make, watching these memories that we made. And we also have Kylie, as mentioned, with us, and same kind of deal. We sort of all kind of melded minds in this weird morass of fucked up movie making. We met you in school, though, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes, I think just one university class. That's all it took.
I think you're right.
Yeah, that class really changed some minds.
Which class was it that you guys were in together?
Is it called Queer Cultures?
Well, there you go.
Queer
It
theories
was a
and
400
cultures,
level,
yeah.
like senior level special topics seminar with
Yes.
like somewhere between like 12 and 20 people.
Yeah. It wasn't even my faculty, so I had to kind of like beg my way into that one a little bit.
I don't think you have to try that hard when you're like, I've taken a class from your partner that was covered like all the same stuff. They're like, oh, come on in.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's all it took. And then started making movies.
Yeah. So I guess unless there's something else I'm forgetting, we may as well get to it with the first movie.
So our first short that we ever did was a parody off of memory of American Mary 2012. Is that the I don't remember.
Yeah, 2012 sounds
2012?
right.
Okay, from 2012. As I don't even remember what the anniversary was to the film, but it was coming up, and so there was a contest to recreate it from memory.
We made this in 2016, so it's probably the 4th.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, like 4-year anniversary or whatever. So we got some friends together to do this on the fly because we really liked the movie. We hadn't seen it in a while, but we'd seen it enough times to like remember most of the beats to be able to do it off of memory.
Yeah, and the other thing was there no money. We probably spent a little money on this, but barely anything because we already had most of the equipment. But
Yeah, that's true.
it was like dollar store budgeting.
And like Party City.
And you mentioned parody, but it was specifically to be
Yes.
sweeted in the style of the movie Be Kind Rewind, where it's just like make the most low budget ramshackle version of this thing as we could. And we went for it, didn't we? So I suppose we should dive right in, right?
Let's do it.
All right. So if everyone wants to get the Swede loaded up, I will do once everyone's ready, I'll do a 3, 2, 1, go, and on go we'll hit play. And yeah.
And you, dear listener, also hit play.
Yes. Or you could just load up the video where you'll hear the commentary already synced into it.
Right.
But
you don't have to do it yourself. That's
either way
right.
you want to do it is fine. If you want to join us, pretty sure.
Yeah, no,
these
do
are
extra
still
work.
online. Do extra work. Okay, so 3, 2, 1. Okay, so already that logo was because we didn't have a logo, and it was dog shit because I don't know how to draw. And
It's on Swedish.
Yeah. Yeah, Mary from America because it's Swedish American Mary. That's right.
Well, it's Swedish.
I like how we wanted box wine to make it look cheap, but we couldn't actually afford box wine, so we got
It was just as
pack of wine.
expensive. And then Italian, because why not?
Yeah. And here's our friend Vasca, who fucking kills it. And there's Tor playing Mary, and
My old ass iPhone.
yeah.
The bank.
Ms. Mason, what in the name of Cleopatra's cunt are you doing?
This is the colorful dialogue with wonderful bon mots like Cleopatra's cunt. I think I wrote most of this in like 1 or 2 sittings late at night, so the delirium had set in.
I remember we set it up so that they would do that. It's
a lot of work, but I'm doing well. Yes, I'm paying my bills.
So okay.
I think one thing worth mentioning is right here, the fake listings that you guys made for the Craigslist page. It's on like if people watch this and they really pause and take their time to read through those. I have choked on water laughing while reading through those listings.
There were some choices made, and there I am being gross.
Mr. Barker?
I think
I'm here about the waitressing job.
yeah, we need to talk more than this, otherwise it's just
Probably.
silence.
I'm just gonna watch it.
We reference this line like in real life, like at least weekly.
Yeah, pretty much. There's a couple moments that we quote, and "You don't need a resume to work here" comes up more than it should.
Yeah, like I don't know why it comes up so often, but it does.
And then that's your hottest chicks in metal shirt and my Autostraddle boy shorts.
It's a great outfit.
Yeah, it's a good look.
Honestly, yeah, I would wear that on the regular.
And I got
And then here
my
you are.
Lose Inferno shirt from Guitar Hero.
Oh yeah, you know you're a metalhead guy when you've got a Guitar Hero t-shirt on. About a decade after that happened.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay, that part cuts so abruptly because I couldn't keep a straight face, so the line just dies because I'm just and like my fucking herpes sore is just falling
your
off my face. Yeah.
Your lip is just peeling off like a snake.
Yeah. Okay, so up Nick, this is Kylie's, I guess, second appearance because you were an extra in the classroom.
Yeah, I
Oh,
play a couple of roles.
You do.
Yeah, a few.
This doesn't show up as well, but because of the lighting, because we were very thrift with our lighting. But the idea is it's a dummy body on this bed, and your head's turned backwards, just to like the body's upside down, even though you're facing the ceiling. And
I do recall how cold this garage
I was gonna say it
So
was like
cold.
January or February.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Edmonton,
there was a
Alberta.
polar vortex as well, I think, that year.
It was brutal. There's a
Yeah,
sequence
we were in
later.
an unheated garage.
Yeah, there's a sequence later in the garage where Tori, you're barely wearing anything, and it's like, I feel so bad for you. You're such a trooper.
Oh,
I remember you just
so-
sort of like huddling around the block heater between
Mhm.
takes.
Huddle. I think you mean straddle. I
Straddle, that's
straddle
right.
that.
Okay, I realize that this might look like making fun of like plastic surgery and all that stuff, but it's also inspired by Dead Kennedy's plastic surgeries disasters. So I was doing an album reference, and we'll stick to that. But the makeup for this looks so bad, but in a funny way, because it kind of wrecked as I was taking it off the mold, and I was like, that's good enough. So we just kind of glued it on there, even though it was all crinkled and fucked up. That outfit too.
Oh yeah, we went to that it doesn't exist anymore. They moved, but there was like Goodwill that was out of the way enough.
Sorry,
You
the
find really
fucking
good shit
face.
there because no one went there.
Yeah, that's right. And here's our friend Randa, who haven't seen in a while. And there's our friend Megan. So a whole bunch of people just all at once.
Yeah, this is a party time when we did this.
Yeah.
And if you keep
This
an eye
is
on the
okay. This
background,
is the worst.
you can see the kitties.
So, what do you think? Well, I think she's a little old, but try.
Yeah, very tasteful abortion joke.
Very subtle.
I think it's in the credits, but I don't remember. Do you remember who did the mask for this? It's just like the cheapest like dollar store plastic mask with like acrylic paints. But yeah, from the movie that we're... Oh, okay, well I have to focus on the scene. Kylie, this is sort of like your big moment, at least
Yeah,
your
this
first
is-
big moment.
This is what I'm most proud of, I think.
Yeah, the big
Every time
sort
I
of...
see this, I just remember the comment about like we put the eyebrows on it. You're like, oh, it's like sexy Eugene Levy.
Yes, yeah.
That's what I was channeling.
Yeah.
And I love how in the wide shots, you can see that the script is clearly what you have on your clipboard. just reading straight off the script. And the name tag is a Safeway name tag, because we worked at Safeway at the time.
God.
So we got that.
Safeway
And we're
doesn't
like,
And
oh,
I was
we
in
can't-
customer service, so I had access to the label maker and I could
Yeah.
like make people name tags.
And it's like,
Y'all, I still have the name tag and I still have the eyebrows.
You should come. I'll think about it.
Oh, the party.
okay, here's Erin.
Oh god.
Erin did her own wardrobe makeup design and is like the slimiest character in this.
And
And
Erin's been on some episodes.
yes, Erin, who, when we get to the next movie, we'll be talking about the film festival a bit, and Erin's the one who went with me to that. I love my notion of what an adult party looks like. Or
Happy
it's just
face
like,
balloons.
yeah. It's just
So slimy.
slithers up like a snake. Okay, this part is probably the part that I had the hardest time not laughing at. Aaron in the background of this scene.
I love that we didn't even remember that from the movie she did.
No. And then here's Arnie doing like the creepiest Frank Zappa impression in the corner. All of that was like my favorite lines in this is that basically, and I didn't write that. That was just ad-libbed on the moment. Looks like you pissed yourself.
Oh fuck yes.
The fact that we got anything done without laughing, like the fact that we
Yeah.
had a finished product,
Yeah.
amazes me.
Okay, here's where there's actually some deleted scenes, and some of my favorite jokes were there. But this is the scene where it's like we're doing a sweeted version of a rape revenge movie, and like I don't know about the rest of you, but I don't want to try and make sexual assault funny. Like,
Yeah.
no. So there were a couple jokes that weren't part of the assault scene, but they were that spanning the time when you knew something bad was going on that we just cut. One of them was Tor, when you walk down the hall and you walk past Arnie, who's just taking dick pics and giggling.
And I tried to film that so many times,
You
and I
couldn't
always
do it.
broke down laughing, and I had to just hand the camera to you because I just could not
You
do
couldn't do it. And then the other one was she tried to go in the bathroom, and Aaron's on the ground with a snorkel on, and I'm just squatting over her drinking a quart of water, about to do like some weird piss play in the bathroom. And she's like, "Hey, occupied."
it. Shut the door.
I forgot
Yeah.
about those.
So
Oh,
those were
man.
deleted scenes that never made it just because timing-wise they would not have been funny, I don't think. Even though content-wise they were hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
How would you like to make $5,000? No questions asked. You don't even need to show me your tits.
We're playing Go Fish.
Yeah.
So scene
yeah.
begins.
Yeah, that's how it was.
I think I remember talking about like, oh, we should pretend we're playing poker, but no one actually knows how to play poker, so the next hardest game was
That
Go
sounds
Fish.
right. A lot of these scenes are actually just because we're shooting a feature film, and the idea was it was a short, and they even said you don't have to do the whole movie, but damn it, we were going to try.
Mhm.
So a lot of these scenes were longer, and we just kind of did trims
Mm-hmm.
wherever we could.
What I remember there being like a time limit, right? Like we had to.
I think they
I
said
think there was
like,
supposed to be, and we
and
simply
it was
did not
really
follow
short.
it.
We just blew past it.
Yeah, we're like,
And,
oh,
They're like,
Oh,
oh, make it like
no.
5 minutes, and we're like, how was like 20?
Yeah. Okay, this sequence, you listing out the body modifications that you want to do was probably the single most fun I've ever had writing a script. Was just the fucking stupid shit.
Scarification, amputation, tongue splitting,
Starts legit.
branding.
Yeah, it starts like real things.
Scarification, cauterization, plasmic baby leaf injections, attach chains from nipple rings to a Prince Albert. It's called chain gang suspenders and is really
If anyone wants to make chain gang suspenders a real thing, if anyone wants to like attach chains from nipple rings to a Prince Albert and make it a thing, don't send me a photo of it because I'm good, but I like
Yeah,
I
you
will
can, you can
know it
take
in my
credit for
heart.
this. It's fine.
Yeah, I just
I
want
will
to know
then
it.
in my heart know that it happened. And then this part where you're torturing him and you stick the power drill in his tongue, that entire thing came about because I had a fake tongue that was like covered in dirt because I had dropped it so many times. And so I did a very Lucio Fulci-esque fake head that's just like, this is like the beyond level
Yeah,
shit.
It's so good.
Made that out of clay on my stove.
Just making a tongue smoothie.
This is one of those
Oh,
ones.
it's gross.
I've shown this to people, and that part has made people gag. Like my parents kind of gagged a bit at
It's
the,
so
the
good.
the tongue just whipping around the power drill. And okay, this you're about to Aria, you're about yeah, Aria, you made the website we're about to look
I
at
did.
in PowerPoint, and I just love how GeoCities it is.
That's what I was
this
going
is,
for.
This is like on par with the stuff I probably made on tripod when I was in high school.
It's just your MySpace page. Gift collection.
I wasn't cool
So
enough
good.
to have a MySpace. Just the sparkly animated rotating text, the under construction skeleton in the corner.
And
Okay.
okay. Hand in
Kylie,
this.
your twin.
This was really fun.
I forgot about your twin.
This was fun to shoot, yeah.
Yeah.
Also was my inspiration for cutting my hair even shorter again.
Ah,
Oh, okay.
Because like when
I-
we slicked it back, I was like, yes.
nice.
Oh, nice.
It's a good
Perfect.
look.
Thank
It
you.
is.
Are you sure about this?
The clear devil. Okay, there was a deleted scene that came after this, where we were going to reference Dead Hooker in a trunk. Where afterwards they were walking down the street, and this was so complicated that we didn't actually shoot this one. Where it's like, I love my new arm. That is your arm. I love it so much. I'm going to use it to hail und taxi cab, and then just go hail. And then a car was going to go by and rip it off, like the dump truck and Dead Hooker in a truck.
Oh,
And
right.
then
So
a
good.
German just look at the stump and go, the madness of life. You remember what the German was for that? I know we translated it
No.
at one point. No, okay.
This was funny because the person playing the police officer is Grace, and I was so shocked when I saw Grace was a part of this because I think you guys also know Grace from university.
Same class, yeah.
Yeah, I've
But you like
known
grew up
Grace.
together, right?
Yeah, she was like best friends with my older sister, and we had a very like Catholic school relationship.
Mm.
Like we just went to church together, played with Barbies
Right.
together, and then like a long period of just weren't in touch. And this being kind of a reunion for the two of us was fucking hilarious to me.
That's such a
of all
small
ways.
world.
Love
Yeah.
that
Such
we
a-
could facilitate that.
Yeah.
That little project.
Well, it's like my cinematography assignment for film school. Nicole was in that one. You were in that one too, Tor. I remember credited as Dildo Queen. But Nicole came over and my neighbors were out front and was just like, you live here, do you? I'm like, yeah, what's going on? It's like, I was in a band with that guy. And it's just like, okay, fucking small world indeed.
Always.
Okay, I love the torso because it's just an anime shirt wrapped around a punching bag with a balloon for a head with a bad photo of Asuka. Just, I said, like, make the goofiest face.
Yeah.
Oh, and here's a Beastie Boy. Just coming to sabotage everything.
And then we get our gross out moment.
Okay, this was actually the grossest fucking thing because that was the second take too, and
Oh.
I almost that was almost real.
I was
almost
fucking
yearns for real.
gagging filming that. Like I had to close my eyes.
What
Well, to
was
get
it
at the
made
part-
of?
It was
Was it chili?
It was lentils, porridge, some ginger ale for fizz, some chocolate syrup, some yellow food coloring, and there was something else in there, and it was just the nastiest
So
concoction.
gross.
Oh, and of course
And
you
then watch
can't.
for the wig to fall off.
Yeah, watch for the wig to go flying off. Boing. This with the camera vaulting over and then the fire extinguisher. This was, if not obvious, a reference to Irreversible because I figured if anyone's gonna do that, I'm gonna do that.
There it is. The watermelon.
Yep. And wait for the last hit. There goes the condom.
It's full of fake blood.
Zoom.
Oh,
Zoomed
the
out.
whole big one. I love if you leave that take going from where we cut it, you just lose it laughing. You're just like the condom, come back.
And then Sappy is
And then
a
Sappy
little
comes
silver
deep brains.
collar.
That's how this is such a heartwarming little moment. But it makes sense because in the original movie, this scene is a heartwarming scene, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
I do think facial hair is one of the best parts of this film.
I think it's the
Yes.
strength, really, of the
I do,
whole,
yeah.
the whole
It
production.
is the backbone, yeah.
And eyebrows.
Oh yeah.
I think the eyebrows was just a mustache cut in half.
I think you're right.
Yeah, we had one sheet of fake mustaches and like goatees and stuff. And it's like, this'll do it. I think that's what we spent extra money on, when we made this.
And it was worth it.
And were the eyebrows even eyebrows, or was it we took a mustache?
No,
and
it was
cut
a
in
mustache
half?
cut
Yeah,
in
that's what I
half,
thought.
Except for this fucking guy. Tor, I got you to give me an undercut in the bathroom. And then I swept up the hair and glued it to my face.
I'm saying the facial hair is impressive.
Just this like fucking gnarly ass
Expression.
buck tooth
Also, I
cube-faced
love that
motherfucker.
we thought we were gonna be like super like hilarious and original with this, and like every other Swede that had this scene used
Had the
Barbie
Barbie,
dolls.
yeah. Yeah, for the
I mean, what else would they have done? But it was just like,
Sexless,
oh, this is gonna be
Well,
so clever.
She even says just like a doll. I think that's in the original
Yeah.
movie and in the Swede here, and it's like obviously. Just getting rougher and rougher every time it comes back.
Did you do something to Dr. Walsh?
Okay, I need to tell a fucking story. Okay, I love this. There's such a trooper here.
I forgot about this.
But the bourbon I'm drinking, it was like about 5 tea bags in a quart of water just left overnight in the fridge.
Oh,
And it would have been less difficult to do this if I just drank bourbon the whole fucking time. And it reached a point where I'm a person who always has to have a drink going, like all the fucking time. And so between takes, I would just sip it and then go, ugh, like every fucking time, like every 5 seconds.
Yeah, I'm really like, why do I keep doing this?
It's like, I don't mean to. And then I love that we,
What the fuck? Don't damage the merchandise.
right, like this is just criticizing a scene in the movie that makes no sense from our opinion. Like,
The last time I watched it, I think I remember thinking it made slightly more
It
sense
made more
than I gave it
sense.
credit for.
but it still
But at
kind
the
of
same
comes
time,
out of
it's
nowhere.
like- Yeah, it does.
Fantasies about you, and he has an alien body pillow that he named Mary that he cries into, but this whole thing is
Yeah.
I don't like Billy. Who says I like him? He's just my friend, okay?
Um,
Shut up and leave me alone. It's none of
But yeah, I love that we're still able to, like, the filmmakers' faces be like, hey, we're gonna poke fun at this scene that we think shaky from your movie and we still win the contest.
Really?
Because yeah, that's the other thing. This is an award-winning film, everyone. So
What do you do?
put that in your
That's
pipe
right.
and smoke
Our
it.
Suite, you mean? Our Suite is, yeah.
Yeah, Our Sweet is an
Award-winning.
award-winning movie, yeah. Technically got an award for it, so. And
Oh,
then
here
for
we go.
the ending,
Climax.
completely forgot, knew the gist of it. I forgot how the fight goes. It turns out in the movie, it's just like
Like
a
2
quick
seconds long.
struggle, and then the guy gets stabbed and you don't even see it. And then we kind of forgot, so we just let it get away from us and went full Looney Tunes with it.
Beatrice, what's wrong? It was Ruby.
What?
That was your
Yeah,
foot,
her
right?
little
Yeah, it
foot.
was.
Yeah, just sort of like
With my-
twisted
with my-
up.
Beatrice,
Boots I got in Italy.
he made me tell him. I'm so sorry. Calm
We're just
down.
getting like full on airplane with this level of humor and stuff.
Mary, he knows. Knows what?
Oh, this pissed me off. Okay, so I step out of the darkness in the background, right?
Address?
It looks okay on the computer or most computer screens. I watched it on TV, and the entire time you could just see me standing back there because the
Oh,
contrast
really?
wasn't
Oh.
like
Hmm.
quite right. I was trying to do the whole Halloween thing of like when Michael Myers steps out of the darkness, but it doesn't.
If you're on the correct
play.
screen, it
Yeah.
works.
It worked here on my screen.
Well, that's good. It works on computers, so hopefully no one ever watches this on a television set. The cheapest props.
We should show this to Janine and be like, how do you feel about the fight coordinating on here? Because I have
know, a
coworker
fight
who is
coordinator,
a stunt
yeah.
coordinator, does a bunch of like weapons stuff for film and television and theater. So
Okay, Aria, we actually watched Each of the Killer yesterday. This
We did.
gag is ripped from that with the blade going through the mouth.
Of course.
Yeah. Kind of forgot where I was ripping it from, but then yeah,
Just monster things.
just monster things. I wish the eyeball looked a little better, but hey, I'll take it.
It's sweeted.
Yeah,
That's
it's
the
sweet.
charm. This is so club dread of you.
Yeah,
And then we just go straight Looney Tunes.
I'm a big fan
Right.
of like Evil Dead
Yes.
level shit. So yeah.
Not the Acme TNT.
Oh, so that was a lot of fucking blood everywhere for that
Oh
shot.
my god, I was so scared that I was gonna have a wicked yeast infection after this because, like, that fake blood was so sugary, and
It was
it's so
pure
true.
syrup.
Yeah, it soaks through everything. I think I remember like once we had finished the scene, I had to like run upstairs to go shower, but it was so sticky, the clothes kind of stuck to the floor. So I
You
kind
had
of
to
like,
you had to undress out of the clothes because you were stuck to the floor by the end
yeah,
of this.
yeah, just like ran upstairs naked and douched like I've never douched before.
Yeah. Well, a good filmmaker always has a supply of douches, I guess.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Appreciate that.
And I'm watching like this scene and some of the other things. We've done 2 movies and we're going to be talking about them both here. And it's like I repeat myself so much already with 2 fucking movies. And I'll point them out when we watch Donor because there's a few scenes that I just pulled from our earlier short. This was way longer.
You just had this like massive like tapestry needle with you and you're like, oh, we can just use this. It's fine.
Yeah, that was so handy. I don't know if you remember, that scene was so much longer originally. Like the gut pulling took so long. We had more dialogue. That was another one where I cut a bunch out for time.
This is handheld.
And this scene cuts abruptly a bit too, or fades out abruptly, because if it went any further, you would have seen the feet of the camera person just coming into frame in the bottom of the frame.
The camera person? Is that me?
Could have been. It was either you or me. It was probably you because I was covered in blood.
It's a great subtitle here.
Well, and then I remember we had just like, so yeah, Tor went and showered. We finished cleaning up the blood and you had a mason jar full of blood. We had just finished cleaning up. And I can't remember if it got knocked or you dropped it.
I was carrying it. I just fucking dropped it.
And it broke and then we had to clean up
Blood and glass.
And glass. Yeah. It was good
sticky
times.
glass.
Yeah, I don't know how to play the piano, so I spent like a good 20 minutes learning just that part of the piano, and then the recorder I just sight read and did one time. I was like, that is good enough.
And you can hear it at the end there where I like the laughter. You're like, oh, it was recording because I didn't realize you were recording, and I like walked into the room and burst out laughing. But the timing worked out really nicely.
This fucking dance destroys me.
Oh, good. Aaron, still greasy.
Oh god, so greasy.
Finger guns.
Oh,
But,
that was
yeah.
great.
That's the Swede. That's we hope obviously you'll watch along to that so you actually get the context for the commentary we're doing. But yeah, I imagine. Well, you seem to have fun now watching it back. Did people have fun when we were making that? Was there like what were your memories when we were doing that?
I had such a blast. I think like every aspect of making it was so much fun because it was so low stakes. I think, at least for me, I don't know. For me, it felt low stakes. It was like just like a fun project to do with you guys, and just. It was a nice moment to let your most unhinged comments and imagination and ideas fly, and then actually end up putting them into the finished product itself.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just fun. Like really, like I guess problem solving little things. Like when we were trying to figure out, like, okay, how are we gonna make a twin for Kylie, or how are we gonna make this, the head smashing work with these condoms, and how are we gonna, coming up with our no budget ideas and resolutions to the different, practical effects we were doing. It was so much fun. I had a great time. Good memory.
That warms my heart. But I agree. I think it was low stakes in such a way because it really was it's supposed to kind of be shoddy by design. And so if anything, I'm kind of impressed by the moments in there that are as tight as they are, given just how even though it looks ramshackle, the production was also really ramshackle. Like
but at the same time, like we did a lot of coverage and we did we did things you could actually, it was just one continuous take of like a scene from one angle. So that part I'm impressed with us still.
We treated it like we were making a real movie by people who had never really made a real movie before. Like I had done shorts a little bit with friends in high school and stuff like that, but that was mostly it.
Yeah, like my acting experience is alwaage stuff. So I
Right.
was a theater actor for so long. The only things I ever did for television was just commercials. So I'm like, not like the commercials I did. But
You don't say.
sure, I can pretend I'm a film actor, no problem.
Well, I'll say kudos then too, because I did the drama program for the first time I was in school, and if there's one thing I noticed between like from that with a lot of the stage actors is some people they were versatile. It's like you could throw them anywhere and they would be able to kill it, and then some people it's like they were just stage actors through and through, which for the stage is great, but you don't need someone doing the broadest performance possible. Like in the theater, you're trying to sell it to the back of the house, right? Whereas for the movie, it's like, no, the camera's right in your face and we're miking you. You don't have to exaggerate your everything. And there were some people that just seemingly couldn't do that. So it's really nice that you were able to just like, you clearly have a talent for both. Yeah.
I had a talent to fake it, so I'm glad at least that.
Fair enough.
Worked. But it was, it was so much fun.
Yeah, and I quite enjoyed the lighting. A lot of that was Aria's work. And it looks pretty solid for desk lamps with like colored light bulbs we bought at the dollar store. Like, hey, these are some cheap red and green bulbs. We'll use those.
I think we actually got them from like Home Depot, but even so.
They were dollar store prices, yeah.
Yeah, they were hardly like, fancy bulbed film lights.
How about yourself, Kylie? Do you have any memories you want to share from this?
I think for me, it was like the community aspect of it that was so meaningful. Like it was a really particular time for me because I had just finished my education program, but I didn't yet have a job. So, and it was, January, I think. Was it January?
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Sure,
it was cold. It was cold as fuck.
Yeah, and that's like
cold.
A tough time. It's dark, it's cold. And like this was something that like let me feel a little warm, and to just be around people and like after this, what we called ourselves Queer Horror Coven forever.
That's right.
Just to feel a part of something that was like, while it was low stakes, like everybody took it seriously too, but had fun doing it. And that was really cool to just be part of something all together. And it was such a welcoming space. Like I'd show up and there'd be people I hadn't met yet and everybody's just like game, which was so cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I think some of like one of the best things I think to come out of it was like it's gonna be so cheesy, but all the friendships that were made along the way, like
it's kind of true though.
Like I think so many of y'all that were a part of it, still friends with, still talk to, and like just the loveliest people and just the weirdest people too.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, I only want to be around weird people.
It's such a particular thing, right? Like if somebody finds out Tor that we know each other, they'll be like, how do you know Tor? And I'm like,
well,
from these like horror movies we made. Hard to explain.
So yeah. Have you seen this movie before?
Are you into Swedes?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's like something that you hear a lot these days, or I don't know, maybe it's just me because I think about this a lot, is the allowing yourself to be creative while not being like being creative with limited judgment on yourself, being creative because you want to be, not because or being creative because you want to be, because you have to be, but not because you have to like meet some crazy high standard, meet some deadline, not because it has to pay your bills, those kinds of things. So kind of being able to create something because we wanted to, the contest was like a fun excuse to kind of get it going, get it off the ground. But yeah, the community aspect of it, 100%. I agree with you on that, Kylie.
Well, that's really sweet to hear, and I like how you put it into words, because I feel that too, and the coming together of it, especially because I look at everyone that was in that as like some of the people I met working at Safeway, some of the people I met through roller derby, some of the people I met because they were friends of other people already involved in school and all that stuff. So it was kind of funny just to sort of ram everyone together and just be like, all right, so you're going to spit blood at you and you're going to do this. And you're right. I think everyone was really game in a way that made me so happy shooting this, because like you said, the stakes weren't particularly high, but I think it takes one wet blanket to kind of spoil the mood, and we didn't have any of that, so that was really good.
No, you're able to enjoy both like the process and the outcome. 'Cause obviously we wanted it to look good and we wanted the shots to look like how we wanted them and stuff. But I think because it was low stakes and because there was a certain amount of like, well, it's gonna look janky because it's a Swede, then that makes it easier to just enjoy like the process of making it and not just be focused on the end result.
Yeah, just having fun. Just
Yes.
having fun through and through.
Yes.
There's a freedom
That's
in being able to fuck up by design.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But it did turn out well for us. We did win that contest, or we were one of the winners. I don't know if it was a multiple winner or not.
It was. They had X number of like posters.
Okay,
or whatever,
gotcha.
and
So
I can't remember if they picked their like top 3, top 5. Like I
Right.
think maybe everybody got something, but then
you're
like, the
all winners. Just
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
mom at the end of the race with a plate of brownies. But one thing that was nice is it got us invited to take part in what became our next project was for Women in Horror Month. There was a blood drive PSA. So we filmed that, and I suppose I guess we could head on to that. Was there anything else anyone wanted to say about the Swede?
Just that while watching it, I
Yeah.
have actually noticed I was kind of salivating a little bit because I'm remembering how sweet that blood was. Like, it was so tasty. I'm not gonna lie. It was so tasty. And I'm like, why? Like, while we were watching, I'm like, why am I drooling? Oh, that's why.
Well, if it helps, I have a fridge full of it. So if you ever want, I'll make some
how
little
old
fake
is
blood
that shit? You don't want
popsicles.
to put it in your mouth.
That's a good point. I'll make new fake blood
So
and
make
I'll
a new
freeze it
batch.
into little popsicles and send them
Oh my
around.
god, yes, please.
Yeah. Lord. Yeah, we can move on to donors. So if everyone wants to, so is everyone queued up and good to go?
Yeah, good to go.
All right. So we'll do the same thing. 3, 2, 1, go.
Our fancy logo.
I
Yeah.
love it.
We got
We
a real
actually got a
logo.
real logo this time. Someone we did Derby with was graphic designer, and so it's like, hey, sup.
It's a good logo.
That's how it went down. Just
Mhm.
hey, sup, and then we had a logo. This one is so different from the last one in that we tried to be serious with it.
Mm.
It's
And,
still
like,
in my
profesh.
mind a dark comedy, but a very different kind. But yeah, what this one, we had only a few parameters. One was there has to be blood because it's a blood drive. The theme was be a hero, however you wanted to
That's
interpret
right.
that. The last line of the movie had to be "It's in you to give" because that's Canada Blood Services slogan or whatever. And the other parameter that I really took to heart was be as shocking as you want because
There are no
controversy
limits.
sells. So
Mm.
I was like, I'm gonna fucking make them eat those words. Like that was my one edict in writing this fucking thing, and it kind of worked because I
I
know
don't know that
when
they ate the words, but they gave us the like spot like the day before theirs. Lucky 13, unlucky 13.
Mm.
Lucky 13, yeah.
So I
Um,
think that is a win.
It's funny because I saw at least one other of the blood drive things. I saw at least one other in the same block as ours in Berlin.
Sorry,
so
I
that's
forgot about
Oh,
Sappy again.
yeah, the
She's a total
YouTube
movie star.
star. So this one for me, and feel free to disagree. In fact, it'll make my heart happier if you do disagree, is this one hasn't aged as well, in my opinion. I think the thing about it is I just see the mistakes. And for the Swede, the mistakes are good. You want the
Right.
mistakes, whereas this, we don't want the mistakes. So it might be me just being extra critical, but
I think one thing that's hard with this is that this was all done in one take.
yes.
So yeah, being able to mitigate mistakes is also just so difficult in those ones. Yeah, I think, I mean, I haven't watched this one through in a while, so, but
Yeah.
I definitely know one mistake that I made that just eats at me years
Oh, no.
later. But we'll get to it.
I can't even think of what it is, so
We'll
cool.
get to it.
Technically, this didn't end up working as one take, even though it was designed to be one real take, and it's because the camera died halfway through. So we have an
Yeah.
invisible edit, but then it also meant that we went and retook a bit of footage because we thought we could do better on a second run at it, and we figured if we've already betrayed the whole "it's one take" thing, I don't mind doing another thing because it was really set up and it was working as one take. I think it could have been one genuine take.
Definitely,
had the camera not died.
Yes.
I think my biggest beef actually with this is if I was doing this over again, and this is what I did some cutting to when I did this for the film festival, is I would make this part shorter. Just because I think it goes on a little bit long in the tooth. Like, that's Aaron's voice over the phone.
Yes, and the narrator is me with like laryngitis because
you
I
with laryngitis.
lost my voice. Because when we were filming this, I was calling out the lines.
Yeah.
So I was just like, and then didn't get to sleep until like 4 a.m. So I just like lost my voice.
Hi, Dor. Welcome back to the movie. Covered in blood once again.
Same blood from before.
Yeah, just a year later. Yeah, for the casting on this is I'm playing the body of the killer with the and doing the camera work in quotes because it's strapped to my head. And then Aria's doing the voice. And then for any time the character shows up on screen, we got our friend Tex to be the person, like in the photo, doing the handing the money like very conspicuously to the unhoused individual who is me. Actually, there you go. I'm there giving me money. Okay, so sorry if it glitched out because our recording fucked up slightly on my end. Anyway, that's the cut because it was completely enveloped in blackness anyway. So it looked like a cut even though it wasn't originally. So we just went back and reshot the beginning to make it a bit tighter. Okay, there's a mistake right there. There would be way more blood coming out of that guy's head if his head was caved in. But, that's beggars can't be choosers, I guess.
Maybe he had a condition where he just didn't have that much blood flow up there.
Oh, he's like a SARS child from 1910. His hemophilia. Yeah, that I love that corpse prop with the hammer in his face. I will pat my own back for that. And then the dead child, was that a bridge too far?
It is creepy.
It's
but it's
creepy.
not too far.
I don't think it's too far. It is disturbing.
YouTube hasn't
really
removed
disturbing.
it. It's clearly not too far.
Yeah. It's a dummy, of course, because we just got a friend with tiny little baby hands and feet.
The feet, though.
Yeah,
I know. I'm like,
whose feet? Lori had taken some effects
courses
classes
at that point, for making appliances.
And then I remember this was like, "Hey, hold your breath."
Yeah, Aria again.
These are creepy shots. Like, this is impressive.
Less Frank Zappa, a little more just dead person.
A little more dead.
A little more dead bathtub.
Oh, one thing I meant to point out, but I forgot to, is you spit blood on me when I'm like holding my hand in front of you, and that was something I just ripped from the suite. So our cinematic universe is you spitting blood in my face.
Honestly, it's a dream. I love being able to spit in people's faces. Consensually, of course.
And then the Easter egg I will take to my fucking grave just happened.
The trail auntie in me is horrified at you just smearing that ointment on the bite with your bare
Especially
paw.
because it's clearly like hydrocortisone or something.
Yeah.
You would not put it on a bite or an open wound.
Yeah. And for this point too, because since we reshot the beginning, I was able to have fresh hands for it. Originally what we'd done is we had different people's hands in different states of being bloodied, and they would just loop their arm under my armpit and be my hand. So we bought like 5 or 6 of the same sweatshirt. And
we got like a 3-pack from Walmart or something.
I forgot about that.
Just had like hand doubles and stuff. And so, the hand would be clean in one take, and then
my fuck up's coming up, I think, and it's right there. The light is not supposed to be on.
Right, the light's supposed to be off. Yeah, that's right. It works. One thing I did is I ended up, you can kind of see a little bit that there's a weird gleam of light coming out of the side, or you could in that first shot. It's because I basically rotoscoped around it and dimmed it so it wasn't as obvious in the shot, because originally it was like, there's a blaring light, but I was able to dim it a fair bit.
Dude, his torso is clearly made of a pillow, the way it just sinks under the foot.
One thing that I'm remembering right now is all these times, like when you were going like upstairs, and then just in that scene when you come downstairs, you see the trail of blood from where I was sitting leading to the basement. I remember, I think my partner at the time was like the blood wrangler. Like
That's right.
everyone
Blood
like
expert.
in between takes, like, okay, someone go down and spread blood over here and spread blood over there. And
Yeah, because how we shot this for one take is it was so choreographed, and
Yeah.
we had far more people off camera than on camera. Like, we had a sort of a little, there's about 8 of us, 10 of us throughout the day that just worked all fucking day for this shot that took place about 3 a.m.
Like, I remember in the morning we like dropped your mom off at the airport.
Yeah.
And then just from there it was just like working time.
Yeah, I worked 22 hours that day according to
Yeah.
a Facebook memory that came up, and it was
I
worth
believe
it.
it.
Oh god. But yeah, so people were running around, and I remember, because there's so much dialogue from the main character, and I wasn't even going to attempt to try and remember it because I was yelling directions.
Yeah.
You Aria, were following behind with the script, keeping the pace of the whole thing. Like, you were reading all of the characters.
That's why I lost my voice.
Yeah, so that way we knew what was on track. Because it's a GoPro in a little like waterproof case on my head, and I mean the audio on one of those isn't
And you
great
had like
anyway.
a helmet on.
this
And a
is where
helmet.
it died, right? Sorry.
Yeah, that was the cut right there. That was the
So good though.
You
so
can't
good.
tell at all.
You
yeah, it
cannot
worked
tell.
really well, because I guess I managed to like whip my head back and forth in the exact same way every time.
Yeah.
Fuck, this was almost a headache to do. Well, it was a headache. It was so much choreography. But it's funny because we spent so long prepping, and then I remember after we'd gone through the choreography like 2 times maybe, we're like, you know what? Let's just fucking do it.
Like,
Yeah, we
it's
got
so
it.
late,
We're gonna
just do
think-
it.
It was late, but it was also, we're gonna overthink this to fucking death
That
if we
too,
don't
yeah.
just sit down and do this thing. Also, it's technically a Christmas movie because there's a little Christmas tree
There
in the
it
back.
Just like Die Hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Christmas
exactly.
is
Eyes
involved.
wide shut.
And
love that kind
I
of
like
Christmas
how
movie.
I like how this turned out, where you broke the mirror, and then coming down, because it's a headlamp attached to the camera, attached. The way it goes off of the broken glass, I thought was really cool, and that was just like a happy accident.
Yeah. And that mirror is fine. We got little IKEA mirrors that we like smashed up in a box and then dispersed.
Well, yeah, no mirrors were harmed, even though we did harm the IKEA
Yeah, we harmed
mirror,
mirrors,
so I
but no
guess
mirrors that like matter.
Gotcha.
Police said it was fine because there wasn't anybody that mattered.
And then a lot of that pixelation, which if I had more time, I would have done a little harder work to make it look more genuine, like camera distortion. But a lot of that pixelation was there to cover up hands that were coming
Like
in the frame
feet and
and
stuff.
stuff. Like,
Yeah.
because that glass got stuck into this huge thing of styrofoam.
That's right.
And then someone had to hold it next to me so I could reach up and grab it and try and hold it so you could just see the glass, but not the person. And
it was erratic, so
Yeah.
it was not perfect. So
like,
we
even
couldn't
that
see it as
fucking
it was
scene
being
where you
filmed.
hit the door was multiple people involved. Like, I think Erin was behind
Yeah.
the door, so when it would slam, she could pop it back shut just to
And then I remember we had your like tooth appliance in there so that like,
Oh,
you smash
yeah.
the face and you have to put it in and put blood and
Oh yeah, the broken teeth. I'm proud of that appliance because I'd never done anything like that before, and it actually worked. And then this part is probably one of the more obvious tells that I'm setting up an appliance with the camera pointed away.
oh, those teeth.
Yeah, they look gross. But yeah, this was all dubbed in, and it goes black and white there and cuts the sound out because I couldn't get the dub quite right. So I was like, okay, I'll just cut out a word and just do that to make it work. Because the camera's getting fucked up, so it works.
Yeah, it blows batter on it and stuff.
Yeah, I can see why your friend couldn't really handle this. This is fucked. Like, what the
It's really
fuck?
fucked.
Yeah, I said earlier to Lori, one of my friends tried to watch this, and she's like, I couldn't. I was just watching footage of my best friend being tortured and
Yeah.
screaming and crying,
Yeah.
covered in blood. I'm like, oh yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
But that part, getting the jar, I accidentally did knock it away, so it took too long to get it, so it looks like we're setting something up. But I liked the rig we did. It was you leaning on a hot water bottle full of fake blood, and there's just a bunch of tubes in the end, so it sort of shoot out when you leaned on it. And then, we had you, the dead person, had to also be the vomit flinger.
Oh right.
Yeah, we had the
Oh,
jar.
we also had like the
thank you.
blade
Oh,
safety
yeah, I, like,
guys.
I put my hands, I think, between your arms, just like poured it right into the toilet as you're leaning forward
Yeah.
or something.
So yeah, we had vomit. I think I did the same recipe because it looked so nasty.
It's so gross.
I think I
Fucking
put bits of bread in it this time so there'd be floaties.
Just to make it worse.
Yeah.
Well, then the worst part was that, like, because we were so exhausted, like, we just, like, went to bed, and so we, like, and then we, like, I don't think we, other than, like, trying to steam clean the carpet, and the blood did not come out, by the way.
It came out a lot, just
God,
there
yeah.
was
But not
still
enough.
blood in the carpet.
But
Yeah.
nobody had flushed the toilet, so this bathroom was so fucking rank.
Yeah.
No one
Oh.
flushed the toilet after that went into it?
Forgot.
No.
Completely forgot.
Oh my god.
I think the
Right?
thinking at the time was don't flush it in case we need the footage.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then
And
we just
then
forgot it
just-
existed.
Right out of our head. Yeah.
Oh no.
But yeah, all that blood on the carpet eventually didn't come out, and the carpet was effectively ruined. But then God smiled on me and flooded the basement, ruining the entire carpet, and it had to be replaced anyway.
That's
Through no doing of my own.
because I remember the house went up for sale after this, and I remember thinking, like, how the fuck are they gonna explain the blood
They
stains
replaced
in
the
the
carpets.
photos?
Yeah,
Like,
there was a leak and the basement flooded,
Oh.
and the whole carpet like had mold, so we had to get rid of the entire carpet down
oh,
there.
happy accident.
Yeah,
Did
happy
the
accidents.
blood on the walls and doors come off pretty
Yep.
easy?
Yeah, it
Okay.
did.
Yeah,
It was
those
just the
those
carpet.
came
A
off.
lot,
It
yeah, a
would've-
lot of, like, magic eraser scrubbing.
It actually
Yeah,
does come out of fabric, the recipe I was using. It's just I wasn't clear when I said put blood in the carpet, and they ground it. I think it was the Salazans doing it,
Oh.
just like ground it into the carpet, and it looks better, but it was
It
really
was
in
in
there.
there.
You know, if it
Yeah.
was
And
just
then do you remember how
splattered.
we filmed this? We had somebody
Yeah.
standing with two lights and
Aaron,
just, like,
Aaron
Yeah.
was the grease ball in the
A
last
light in
scene.
each hand, just turning back and forth.
going in a circle
Yeah.
outside the door.
You know what? Looks freaking good though.
Yeah. And then coming up is the next common element between the Swede and this. It's this effect rig. And this was fun because to pull this off, I got a cooking pan and put a Ziploc full of fake guts on it and then put it on the back of a backpack and then put a sweater over it. So I wore a backpack basically backwards on my chest that I could cut open like it was my torso. So that sort of talking and looking, and you see the arm move is me actually looping my hands through the backpack. Is I'm pretty sure Blood Wrangler extraordinaire came and just like put the backpack on me while we were talking. Oh, and also took the razor that I cut your throat with and actually put a blade in it now, so I could actually cut something.
Actually cut, yeah.
without
And then
hurting
put it back
yourself.
in my pocket, so that way we could do your scene safely. But then it's like same razor, and all of a sudden it's pointy again. So I like how those little trade-offs worked. Oh yeah, and the whole hand gag, having multiple people with hands, that was just ripped straight out of the Maniac remake.
Yeah.
Like when we decided we wanted to do a POV horror movie, one of the first things I did was load up the behind the scenes for that movie.
It's just fuck you.
So dramatic. Like,
Yeah. But yeah, so this is the second
Ugh.
movie that ends with someone pulling their own guts out. And I think the guts look a bit better in this one because we spent more time on them. I remember...
oh, go
Yeah.
on, sorry. Go on.
No, I was just saying, I think Aria did the guts for this one.
No, I think we had a few people working on them, I thought.
They
Or
were
maybe
team
maybe I
effort.
did, you're right.
I remember
Sorry, I
you
was thinking of the
stitched
skin.
veins into them. You stitched
I think
veins
I
into
think
the
I
guts.
it
Yeah.
wasn't veins so much as like trying to have like bunched parts, so it wouldn't just be like a tube. It would have like
Yeah.
stuff to it. And then I think you put a bit of
It
latex
worked.
on them too.
Yeah, we soaked the whole after stuffing the. It's just like cheap leggings
Pantyhose.
from the dollar store, pantyhose. Yeah, stuffed with like
Newspaper?
no, it was stuffed. I think with actual stuffing at this point
Oh,
that
like
I bought
fiberfill?
from the store.
Or
Yeah,
polyfill or
fiberfill,
whatever? Okay.
polyfill. That's it. And then soaked in latex.
Swede might have been newspaper.
Yeah, definitely. And then this was lying on the ground, and someone hands me a squirt bottle. I just start spraying it while pretending to cut my throat, and it's just like it's so cheaply done, but it worked.
It looked nasty.
And yeah, that end sequence,
Just little dead.
yeah, a little dead wiggle. That end sequence ended with when we first premiered this. One of the people that came to watch it ended up having a panic attack, which I still feel fucking bad about.
Really?
Yeah, because
I think I had to do the sound design.
it was largely a sound design because I once again ripped off Irreversible in this one, in that I had for the second half after the camera gets hit, I had a rolling low bass note that was just going throughout. So like if you listen to this on a good pair of speakers, you sort of feel the ending in your gut. Like it's just this like brrr kind of thing going that you can't really hear too well. And yeah,
it makes you a little bit nauseated.
Yeah, so it worked, which was kind of bleak, but yeah. But yeah, so this ended up playing a film festival. I played a couple, but the one that I went to with Aaron was Final Girls Berlin Film Festival. And I loved this was during the midnight movie, so it was a lot of like schlocky stuff and people were cheering and laughing. And then ours goes on, and by the time it ends, instead of any noise or whatever, there's just this collective like from the audience kind of thing. Like you could fucking hear a pin drop, and then everyone was just holding their breath through the last part of that. So that was as good as any applause for my money.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
That's what happened when I saw The Exorcism of Emily Rose in theaters when I was like 13. It was the same kind of thing, like hit the credits, and then there's just this kind of like collective like.
Oh, there you go. It was Tor and Aria doing the guts.
All right, so there you go.
Yeah, and then there's a little coda that comes up. This is the other thing that obviously wasn't part of one take because it's a different scene. It's the police body cam footage. That was cut out of the Berlin version.
Okay.
For time, as was the beginning where it shows that this is someone's YouTube channel. Like the whole conceit is just like people that try to do good to make themselves look good. And when that doesn't work, they become monsters or they're like really shitty and all that. That's kind of what we're going for.
Very Canadian.
Yeah.
Saying to friends the other day, it's like, we're not actually nice. We have like this, like, I'll hold the door open for you, but if you don't say thank you, I'm going to be like, well, fuck you too, then.
Fuck you, buddy.
Very true.
And then there's the other one, Sappho
again.
eating brains. There's always Sappho eating brains. And for anyone wondering, it's just a slightly colored red cat food. So we're not making the cat eat bits of latex or whatever. We're not monsters. Yeah, fuck. This,
Yeah, 2017. There it is.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, I made a goof here, but no one in the universe will notice it. Is I synced the timer. There's a clock in the corner that's counting on. I synced it wrong because I forgot we shot at 30 frames a second and I synced it to 24, so time doesn't even flow right. And I'm literally the only person that notices that, but it's just like, damn it. And then the no signal cuts out anytime you see like a crew person standing around. Because there was someone just standing in the bathtub, completely inexplicably, just standing there holding a blood rig, waiting, and it showed up in the mirror.
Inexplicably, that's for a purpose.
I mean, in the context of the movie. And then here's
that
Tex with a nice throat slit kind of thing. It's too bad I didn't get the whole like Tenebrae Ichi kind of like geyser coming out of the neck, but you know, I'll settle. And there's how we ended on It's in You to Give. So, and that was that. That was Donor. Did that hold up for other people, or am I just?
Yeah,
I think it held up. Yeah.
It's creepy.
I like it more the further in the movie it gets. That's for sure. Yeah, I think I'm just being nitpicky.
Yes.
It's got a 3.5 out of 5
don't get me wrong.
on so like 7 stars or 7 out of 10, 3.5 stars on Letterboxd. So that's not bad.
That's good.
Yeah.
Especially horror. I'm like,
yeah.
You're 3 or higher, you're basically a 10.
Exactly, yeah.
10 is
I'm going to start using that now. I'm basically a 10. So.
Basically a 10.
Yeah, that was a really fun one to do because just remembering how much choreography had to go into this, how much planning, just remembering all the running that had to be happening whenever possible. If someone wasn't in front of the camera, there was so much action going on behind you, just people prepping for what the next shot is going to be or what's next going to be in frame, and another good group effort and lots of fun.
Yeah,
because I sadly wasn't involved in this. Did you guys film it all in one day?
Yeah, the body cam was a second day, but the rest of it was one day.
And then how long did it take to do the ADR?
Oh, okay, the ADR. Yeah, it was.
Well, the Foley took weeks. ADR
Yeah.
didn't take very
Okay.
long.
ADR was over a couple sessions because we had
Okay.
Tor one day, we had Aria one day, we had Aaron one day.
Yeah.
I know for Tor's day, we got a lot of the screaming. And this is how I know I'm glad I left that neighborhood, because it's the nice, happy, quiet suburbia thing. We, middle of the day, full volume screaming like you're being murdered, and it sounded horrifying. Like, it was uncomfortable to sit next to and listen. You did a really good job. No one said boo. My walls are thin. My neighbors definitely heard that. Guaranteed.
Someone's being murdered.
No
Like,
big deal.
Let it
Guaranteed
happen.
someone heard that. And then another day, I go outside to film footage for, remember the original version of this? How we're going to do the story about the blood-obsessed necrophiliacs, and then the script got too long, so we decided to do something else.
Yes.
I love how casually you
We're like,
said
maybe
that.
we should make like a feature film for this little like blood drive PSA.
Yeah, it reached the point where that it was too big of a project for what we were supposed to be doing. But I was making a fake snuff tape for that, and that was one of the few parts for that we actually filmed, and it was intercut, the snuff footage, with a stalker with a camera going around a neighborhood at night, like looking in window and all that. And of course we did my house, and then someone breaks in. So I'm dressed all in black with a camera, walking
Like
around the
pantyhose
neighborhood,
on your head and shit.
pantyhose on my head, going over a fence, or like through a fence to a backyard, up to this back door. And behind me on the street across the way are some college kids drinking on a deck. They're watching me break into this house, not knowing it's my own house. No one said shit.
Oh my god, the suburbs. Seriously,
Yeah,
the most
so
dangerous place you
I'm-
could live.
I'm glad I got out of that
Wow.
place, because I would have been murdered.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
I would really love the people who live there now, though, to discover both these films.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, I should just leave a tape in a unmarked package on their front
You
steps.
absolutely should, particularly of Donor, because like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty
they might think it's
recognizable.
real.
Yeah. Do you remember what happened?
Do you like to watch?
Yeah, that, and then our names are at the end, so they could definitely call the police.
I'll make
But
another edited version just to send to the neighbors
Yeah.
anonymously.
Perfect.
I like this plan.
But yeah, it was as you pointed out, Kyle, you weren't on for this one because of your work schedule, which was too bad. But so it definitely plays different for you.
It totally does. And I
Yeah.
remember being really excited as someone who like knew about it, because I think I was like in the Facebook group where you
Mhm.
guys would plan things.
Yeah.
But I remember when it finally like came out to watch in full, my partner Elliot and I watched it together, and he loves a one shot.
Mm.
Oh, okay, cool.
And one of the things that scares me the most is like found footage, not found footage, but like home footage.
Right.
So this worked on me. Like it still works
yeah.
on me. It's particularly the way that you guys used dark to like slowly come across like the body in the hallway, or it's quite chilling.
Thank you.
I think it's really impressive.
Thanks.
And I'm
Oh my
sad I wasn't a
God.
part of filming it, but then I get to enjoy it as like art that my friends made.
Yeah, 'cause I
That
guess
makes me so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
Aw.
I'm pretty sure when Elliot and I watched it, we did a lot of like turning to each other and just gasping, being like, "Oh my goodness!" Like,
Aw.
the Swede was this, but tonally different,
Yeah.
right? Like anytime it was super gory, it was also at the same time funny.
Right.
Yeah.
That is not the case with this one.
No.
No, I think any humor to be derived, I think, is from the absurdity of the dialogue over the horrible things that we're seeing. But you're right. This is it's different, that's for sure. And I guess that's the double-edged sword, is I'll never be able to not see it from the behind the scenes
Yeah.
side, because I had such a blast making this, but I will always have it like stuck with the memories of how we made everything. So I always hope that it's effective, but I have to kind of just like go, oh God, please be effective.
So it's so interesting to hear how different of a like process this was from the Swede, having been involved in the making of that one. What do you think that you all learned from the making of the Swede that you took into how you made this one differently?
Ooh. Not as much as I would have liked to. That's for sure.
Fair.
Well, I think no, I
Yeah,
guess
go ahead.
maybe didn't matter so much since we weren't recording sound, but don't use the lights that have fans on them because they will pick up on the sound.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
Oh, do you
remember.
remember how often we'd have to like a fan would come on the light? 'Cause they're
Yeah.
these big like studio photography lights.
Yeah, and they're
It'd
meant to be like
"Rrrr."
flash bulb
Yeah, your strobes,
ones,
yeah.
but we just had like the modeling lamp on, but then it would
Yeah.
heat up, and because
So
they're
it'd be
meant for
like-
still photography, so if they have a fan
Yeah.
come on, it really doesn't matter. But we were not using them for still photography.
Because I remember for the project that we never finished, that was in my garage, we actually bought some cheap lights that worked. And since then, I bought actually nicer lights that they're LED panels and they're battery powered. So I could go out into the woods with these and just set them up and all that,
Yeah.
which is nice. But I think what you're saying about the darkness, that was almost like, I think we sort of hoped for that, or at least I did, but it was sort of like a nice surprise because we figured it's found footage. You can get away with shakier lighting. So it really was, everything was lit by a headlamp with the odd room had a light on in it or the Christmas tree or whatever. And so it had that spotlight effect for everything we did. And I'm glad that it worked because that was sort of we don't really know how to light this thing while keeping in, because I'm so hot and cold on found footage. When it's done well, I really like it, but it's often not done
It's
too
rarely
well.
done well.
And I think one of my conceits is if you're going to do that, you have to go all in on it. Like if you're saying it's someone with a camera, it has to look like someone with a camera.
Yeah.
If there wouldn't be a cut in real life, why are you cutting here? That's why we wanted to do one shot for it, because it's supposed to be someone's like rambling vlog. So it would be one shot. They wouldn't then. I mean, we broke our own conceit by having beginning little stinger of the like channel come up at the start for Empath Finder with the dumbest little ukulele. I bought a ukulele for $10 just to write that song.
Honestly, worth it. Worth every penny.
Yeah.
That beginning is so funny to me.
That part
Well,
was
especially because it starts out so like dark and tonal and serious, and it's like ding 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 ding.
That part was cut out of the Berlin version of like I had to make cuts all over the place just to get it down to length. It had to be below 20 minutes, I think. And that was one of the things that lost. And I think that really tonally changed it for the film festival.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, there were a lot of cuts.
Yeah, because I guess that sets it up to be kind of like, oh, is this going to be funny? Whereas if you don't have that at the beginning, it's just dark and mean.
Yeah, it's just
I think having it at the beginning kind of gives you permission to laugh at the parts where it's kind of ridiculous. But if without it there, I think it would be a really different experience.
It was.
Did you run through this several times before you started filming?
I think we actually ran through the whole thing once or twice, and then we did everything in bits, if I remember correctly, before that.
Yeah, I tried to like block it out as much as we could and say, like, this time this person needs to be doing this, and when you hear this call, do this. And
it was I'm sorry, my dog is breathing into the microphone.
Hey, buddy.
It was handy, I think, being able to like knowing that we were gonna do everything, all the lines and stuff ADR, so that we could have people yelling out, be like, okay, get ready for this one now, whoever's going to be on the glass, prep the glass, who's going to be on, blood smear number 1, be in place, all that kind of stuff. That definitely made it handy. But it was the pressure on that. I think the pressure on donor much different than the pressure when we were doing the Swede, because the Swede was it was just fun. We're taking so many different takes, but donor, having that intention to do it as one continuous take, but like, okay, when it came time to actually do the finished thing, I remember being like, all right, serious face now, no mistakes. Of course, we all had our own mistakes, but much more pressure.
I feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I feel like there was a lot of pressure on you because you were the one person on camera for the take. Everyone else was off screen, whereas you were just like,
like Arnie, I guess.
That's true, but for you, it was like, we see your face, so we will know if you're laughing or something like that. Of course, make that look like you're screaming.
But there wasn't as much opportunity to maybe be laughing.
That's true.
Yeah, I definitely took whatever chances I could to laugh, because I'm one of those people. I laugh through everything, and I'm also one of those people, like when I'm scared or I'm a panic laugher or if I'm stressed. So it's
Yeah.
either
Sort of-
crying or laughing.
Yeah,
one or the
laugh
other.
so I don't cry. Yeah, I know that
Yeah,
well.
yeah. So I think there was a lot of that, just like whenever I could, just like, hey, get a stress giggle out. But no, I think the only pressure I really remember thinking was just making sure when we finally did the one take that just everyone was ready, everyone was in place. But again, still just so much fun, so much fun. But yeah, this one's way darker. And watching it again, like this is the first time I've watched it in a really long time, and getting a better appreciation for my friends who I forced it upon. Why they were so upset with me. They're like, I don't want to watch this. It's really
You're
fucked
a
up,
little
dude.
more removed from it.
And I'm just like just like chuckling beside them. It's like, why are you walking away, guys? Don't you want to finish? But yeah, I think this one, I personally think this one aged well, but it's because
Okay,
I don't
cool.
I don't see all the nitpicky things that you would see and have that relationship with Lori. But
Yeah. And I think it's a good thing just to be able to let go of that, because the movie's made and you can continue polishing it as much as you want. And at a certain point, you have to just be like, this is the movie. Am I cool with what this is? And like, I definitely like it and I'm proud of it. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I haven't had enough time between, I guess, to really let those sort of like those moments that I wish I could go back and do differently.
Do you
But
think
what can you do?
like having another project would allow you to do that? Like once you've got another completed project, this can kind of feel in the past?
Oh, probably, for sure. And I think with any project that may or may not come down the pipeline going forward, there's gonna be a lot that I learned, and then there's gonna be a whole new mistakes that I make. I hope I minimize the amount of same mistakes I'm making. Those are the ones that are the worst. Because this one, I think looping way back to a question you asked earlier, the process for this one was like, I wrote the script in less than a week, because we started with the original version of this that got way out of control. Like it was like, oh, this is too big for what we're doing.
Like
so
it's
I
gonna
had
be a feature film.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, we need to just stop here and figure out what we're doing for this short. And so I wrote the script in like 4 or 5 days. Like I was working at Safeway and I'd be in the back, and when the boss was out of the room, I'd just start writing down parts of the script on a piece of paper, like between cooking chickens and all that stuff. Then we did all of the I bought the supplies, or like we bought the supplies, we got everything together, and then we did all of the pre-production for the actual shoot in one day and shot it at the end of the day. Like if I had more time, I would have made some of those props earlier, but we didn't. We were up against the wall. So it was like, this is the day we're shooting. So we spent all day making those props, filmed it in one day. The very next day, I think, filmed the little coda at the end with the body cam footage. And so it was about a week to get from coming up with the idea to having it shot.
Wow.
And then it was about 6 weeks to do the sound design and the color correction.
Yeah,
because
we blew past the deadline like once or twice.
Yeah.
Like, we got extensions, but they
We
wanted
did.
it in like weeks earlier than we actually. I think we ended up getting a good extra month to work on it.
Yeah, because the color on it, everything looked piss yellow because of like the lamp and the way the lights were. It looked like Piss Christ the movie.
Yeah,
And
we filmed it from like the Piss Christ jar.
we filmed it from the Piss Christ jar, and so I had to color correct everything. But the problem is, since it's one take, it was the color balance would change from one room to the next, so I had to keyframe the whole thing and make one like moving color correction throughout the whole movie. So it took fucking weeks. And then since we the first thing I did when I loaded the video in was I took out the camera's audio because it was garbled, useless bullshit with all our directions over it. And so the sound design took weeks as well. And that's when I was introduced to weed as like an actual like helpful thing, not just like a party thing.
No, I think we did that with the Swede.
No, it was this. I think I was doing the color correction on this.
I thought it was maybe because I thought I remembered like with the Swede because Tor's like smoking in that, so I thought that's
was it the Swede? Maybe then I just remember one of them was I was pulling an all-nighter editing and I couldn't do it, and then it was just like, hey, you should try this Treasure Island stuff. It's all CBD, all fun.
Yeah, no,
all
I'm
the
pretty
time.
sure that was with Mary. And then you had your own, because it was still legal.
Right,
you
I
had
went
your
and
own
got my prescription.
by the time Donor came around, so you had your own stash.
I remember this conversation, so it had to have been the Swede.
Okay, never mind then. I'm
Yeah,
misremembering.
I remember because with the suite I was working because I was nannying like 4 days a week, and then I think I was at the YMCA doing the like childcare 2 or 3 other days a week. I can't remember if it was still Safeway at that point. It was ridiculous, and so I was just like, oh my god, I'm so tired. And then Tori was just like, here, try some of this,
God,
and I had like the best fucking sleep.
Sorry,
I woke up the next morning. I was like, I feel rejuvenated.
No, it's good. You actually made things great for me, because my only experiences before that was the time that I made edibles with a friend, and they didn't work. And we waited like hours, and it still didn't work. So we tried a second one. Like we cut this tray of brownies into pieces.
That'll get you.
Didn't work. It was like 4 hours. Felt nothing. And it's like, well, your parents are coming home tomorrow. We don't want these, so we may as well eat the whole tray. We just ate the rest. I go home. I'm sitting at my computer, right? And all of a sudden, it all hits at once. And it took every ounce of strength to close my laptop, do a 180, and just fall onto bed. And I slept for about 20 hours straight, and I've never had that good of a sleep in my entire fucking life. So
it's like, here you talk about like with pushing these deadlines, coming up with this idea, and then a week later us filming it and that kind of stuff. It really speaks to our neurodivergent brains and what we can do under pressure. Like
you just need to be on fire.
Give us a deadline. Let us know that we can push it a little bit, and we'll make magic. We'll make magic.
Yeah. Well, shit. This was a lot of fun. It was great to revisit this with y'all. Any closing thoughts for either Donor or just the whole experience?
Honestly, I had this was my delight of the day, was watching through these again with y'all and talking about it, and I'm just really excited for whenever we do another project in the future, because just being reminded about how much fun this was.
Well, I don't want to put my foot in my mouth too much, but there's you can't see it now because it's dark, but there's a corkboard behind me with the next thing laid out on it. So hopefully soon, hopefully 2023.
Yeah.
Oh, I suppose I'm not prepped for this, but one thing we could have always done is, as a bonus, after Chief watched that 3-minute film for film school with the giant dildo.
Oh yeah, we should add that in for the listeners.
That was so fucking fun. So stupid. But on the ones that we did talk about, was there Kylie, did you have any parting thoughts?
It's really fun to get to like reminisce with the first one and then just appreciate with the second one based on the different role I played in each one. But I echo Tora. I'm just really excited for when we can all get together and do this again.
Cool. Well, hopefully something. Even just a little something would be great, Little
something would be fantastic.
Little as something is a treat. Aria, do you have anything that you want to part
the same thing? I'm just like, oh, I missed that. That was so much fun.
Yeah. Good times were had by many. All right. Well, I suppose that about wraps it up for today. I have no idea how long this episode is going to cut to, because we had technical difficulties halfway through, but we'll see. I'm going to put the shorts up on YouTube with the commentary laid over it, and I'm going to see about what I can do because especially with Donor, we kind of went way past still commentating on it, so I might just put the whole episode up just against like a blank queer horror cult, and then cut into the movies when the movies play, and then go back to the logo or something. I'll figure out something so that this is watchable too. Yeah, we'll figure something out. But before we go away, we always do a thing here where we do recommendations for, I don't know what recommendations would even look like on this episode. So does anyone have anything?
I mean, I do, but I'm kind of biased with this one.
Let's hear it.
HBO came out with, it's a horror series called The Baby. I don't know if any of you watched it, but
I haven't watched it.
I'm biased because my eldest sibling was a consultant on this show, but it's actually fantastic. The short idea of it is, there's a woman who her friends are having babies, but it's not for her. A baby ends up in her life, and it's fucking horrifying. Also hilarious. It's a British production, but yeah, it's called The Baby. It's on HBO. People in Canada, if you have like a Crave subscription, you can also find it there. But that's my recommendation.
Nice. Okay. Cool. Who wants to go next? You got
so
one?
what's rattling around in my brain is Lori, you lent me Inside, and I
Right.
watched it recently.
Oh.
And it's not my favorite movie I've ever seen, but it would make a really great double feature with Donor.
Yeah.
Shit, it would.
Oh shit. Yeah. Home invasion party.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
And it sounds like you can watch it with the baby.
You could watch it with the baby 100%. Oh my God, this is brilliant. What a
But
night.
it was
thinking.
like that, the viscerality of like both Donor and Inside, and the guts, the home invasion.
I like it. I like it. Aria, do you have anything?
What was that? I don't remember the title of it, but what was that one that we watched recently that was based off of From Beyond? That's sort of like
Oh, Banshee Chapter?
Banshee Chapter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that comes to mind. I was like, what's the most recent sort of found footage-ish thing I've seen? It was that. And I
Right.
kind of liked it. So
Sort of the Lovecraftian, what if MK Ultra made demons happen in your brain?
yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It's pretty good.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, that's it seems to get a lot of shit on it, and I didn't like it for the first half of the first time I watched it because it's a found footage movie that kind of drops the conceit partway
Yeah.
through, but it's still filmed like a found footage movie, and it's like, well, that's just bad filming. Is my take. If it's not a found footage movie, but you're shooting it and lighting it like one. But on second watch, that didn't bother me very much, so I enjoyed it. So yeah, cool, good one. My recommendation is going to be the feature-length behind-the-scenes movie of the guys who Astron 6 and the editor and all that. They did one called "Making Movies Used to Be Fun," and it's all about the disaster of their feature film thing. And they made the movie, and it worked. It's fucking hilarious, but they like ran out of money partway through, and the movie just died, and they managed to scrape enough cash together to finish this movie when they like barely shot any of it.
Wow.
And it's also an ode to Italian horror movies. It's like if someone did a Swede of an Argento movie, that's what the editor is. Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm adding all these to my list.
Yeah. Well, thank you everybody for joining me. I'm hoping that I will have each and every one of you on again in the future. I guess Aria is welcome back to her own show.
I'll be away for like the first.
Yeah, you're gonna be
third
away
of
for a
next
little
year.
bit, but maybe come next summer.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, sounds good. Kylie, always welcome back, and Elliot too, of course. And Tora, if you ever want to come on and just chat fucked up movies, love to have you.
All day, every day, baby. It was
All
a
right.
pleasure.
All right, cool. Well, thanks again, everyone, for tuning in. And I guess whenever the next episode happens, it happens. But until then, take it easy and keep it sleazy.